good job.
Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Pittsburgh Commission to order for Tuesday, March 17th. Please join us in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just to share with you, Commissioner Munsell is on the phone this evening. I would open public input and invite Linda Stotler from Grace Methodist Church to come forward.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be able to come and open your evening meeting with prayer this evening. I would like for you to take a moment for silent prayer. Will you bow your head? Oh Lord, we just ask that you be with each and every one here this evening for the City Council meeting, that you give them the knowledge and the confidence to make the right decisions for the issues that is brought before them this evening. We know that the issues brought forward are important ones and affect many people. Just guide and direct this council in your will. We just ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
We'd invite anyone else for public inputs if you would share your name, your address, and please limit your remarks to 3 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Roger Lomchek, 1147 South 220th Street. I wanted to ask you whether the invoice on the Wesley House situation that was presented a couple of weeks ago was going to be discussed tonight, or if you're going to hold off until all of the commission members were in attendance.
We're not pulling it from the agenda, no.
Oh, okay, that's not on. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that was it for now.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell, 1602 North Grand. It sounds like you're already going to discuss quite a bit of stuff on the agenda. I do have a couple of questions to add, if I may. The invoice, as it appears on the agenda tonight, only shows the staff labor charges that were incurred up there. Is Wesley House going to absorb the rest of it, or how will that be split up? Spoke to Darren last meeting. I believe there's money allotted in the budget for Code Blue emergency shelters out there, but it didn't sound like we have a good plan or facilities in place without depending on volunteers, a church, or Wesley House to administer it and run it for us. Are there people on the commission, or is it city staff that's going to be moving forward with plans on how to develop and administer that in the future? I believe Darren said there was money already allotted for the emergency shelter plan in the city budget, and I'd like to hear how that was going to be done. And like I said, just who's going to be responsible for planning and execution of these Code Blue emergency shelter actions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, close public inputs. In terms of the agenda, we will table special presentation A, the Neighborhood Advisory Council. Any removal from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote?
McNay,
Yes.
Munsell,
Chuck?
Yes.
Sigley.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving into special presentations. Active Transportation Advisory Board, Annual Report. The Active Transportation Advisory Board, ATAB representatives will provide their annual report. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you, Commissioners. Just wanted to kind of give a quick rundown of our Active Transportation Advisory Board. Tonight, we have a little small presentation we're going to present to you. I'm going to have a couple of the members of the board with us tonight. We have Gunnar Mingarelli, who is our Vice President, and we also have Deborah Anthony from the Health Department. It was kind of nice. Gunnar was our first, student to be on the Active Transportation Board. And like I said, he's brought a lot to there. So I'm going to have Gunnar kind of give you a short rundown of what's going on and where we're going. and I really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. Welcome, Gunnar.
Thank you for having us. We are the Active Transportation Advisory Board. We were created in 2014, and we meet on the first Tuesday of every month. Our purpose is to develop transportation alternatives that offer a variety of benefits to those who visit or live here. We also want to create a process to review current or future transportation projects so that we may maximize other avenues of travel. The board was originally comprised of 7 members, but was reduced to 5 in 2022. Currently, we have Matt Kasawara as our president, myself as the vice president, Aaron Fletcher, Leah Gagnon, Deborah Anthony, and Troy Graham, filling in the rest of the board. The advisory board duties can be summed up as, if you want to walk, we talk. From roadways to trails, sidewalks, our goal is to present them to you or make recommendations or reports on our own. And of course, advise you all on the best course of action. Other duties include seeking out grants and other revenue and other avenues, dearie me, other avenues of funding so that we can get more alternative forms of transportation sooner. In August of 2023, we got together with the Center of Community Support in order to revise an old plan that we made pre-pandemic. They offered individualized assistance to help local groups define and reimagine what we want to achieve. Coming away from that meeting, we have put together a plan with these points upon it. We want to increase walkability around Meadowlark Elementary School. It is very much on the far north side of town, and it is much more difficult to get there without a car as compared to areas like the middle school or even Westside Elementary. We would like to make walking and biking in our downtown district safer. We are currently reviewing various street ordinances and are hoping to compile it together in a complete streets program. We also hope to make walking and biking safer in our northernmost Broadway district. And of course, we are continuing to seek out and apply for grants in order to help build up our trails network. I will now turn it back over to Troy Graham.
Thank you, Gunnar. So, as Gunnar said, like I said, they sit down in August of 2023. We had Greenbush representatives come over and they did some planning processes with us. It was kind of good. It gave the group a lot of direction for the future. And last November and then through the first of the year, we started working on a Safe Routes to School application for Meadowlark. As you see here, this is Meadowlark Elementary. It's one thing especially flying a drone, you never see, there's trees everywhere in town. It's like I said, it looks like it's out in the middle of the country. But that's Meadowlark Elementary. That's looking west towards town. So like I said, you can see it's not a really good walkable area to get children from the local neighborhoods. That is Fire Station number 2, which is basically along Rouse there at 20th Street. So we're looking at basically a Safe Routes application that would connect the Meadowlark Elementary School to the fire station. The fire station is also kind of a rally point, if we should have some sort of incident at the school. So right now if the kids have to get out of there, they're having to walk on the street basically. So we have put together an application to possibly look at getting a grant to have a sidewalk built along the south side of 20th Street there that would get the kids safely. It would also connect them to the sidewalks that we have in the area that are on Rouse Street running north and south. So like I said, it's one of those schools that currently there's not a lot of access to it other than cars. You know, I mean, basically it's kind of like if you build it, they will come type thing. We have a lot of kids that live close there that possibly could walk. So this is the active transportation plan that the Center for Community Supports helped us advise, or helped us, I guess. We had an old PEDNet plan that was probably back from, I think, when I worked on it in 2015, 2016. So it's been there a while, so we needed some updating. You guys all should have got a copy of that to look through. But this is kind of some of the things that the different departments within the city and our active transportation advisory board, some of the things we've been able to do and increase in our city. As you can see there, those are all the sidewalks that are basically running north along all of our businesses and so forth in the North Broadway area. This is the sidewalks that were installed around the Ball Diamond Complex there on Memorial Drive. Once, when the update was done to the 4th Street overpass, like I said, we've got a trail running east and west there now that connects to a lot of the sidewalks and trails we had in that area. So they've, you know, before it was, like I said, it was pretty, you know, it wasn't real safe to traverse across the overpass like that. But I mean, it was, like I said, built many years ago. So that update made a lot of improvements to hiking and biking through there. This is like some of our older projects. You can see the South Rouse Trail. That was a KDOT project we had back in, you know, I think it was 2014, 2015. There we have the sidewalks along the Silverback Way there, which is our new subdivision on the east side of town. So as you can see, like I said, the Active Transportation Board they've been busy. I mean, like I said, they're constantly looking for new things. They're always in my ear, you know. It's like that little bird on your shoulder there. But they're constantly trying to find ways to update and improve the city and like I said, our hiking and biking and walkability. So I appreciate your time tonight. Like I said, if you have any questions anytime, just, you know, pick up the phone and call. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Troy.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Do we have a pamphlet or a brochure listing all these walking paths and stuff that we can hand out to citizens or new people coming to town?
I know we've had in the past with some, I'll check and make sure how updated it is, but yeah, we can get something out ready. So I know in the past, like I said, we've actually had a GIS layer that people could look at as well online to show where they all are. So, I mean, when you look at, you know, 10 years ago, what we had versus what we have now, it's incredible. I mean, we put in so many sidewalks and trails.
And,
I mean, it's just
I
amazing.
mean, I don't know what percentage, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of people writing grants
Oh, yeah.
to get it
yeah.
done, so.
It's like I said, you know, you can't, you know, you see people walking a lot more than you used to, so it's really amazing.
Great. Thank you, Troy. Deborah, thank you for being here.
Yep.
All right, moving on, consider the following. Active Transportation Plan. Consider staff recommendation to adopt an active transportation plan to be used as an official resource document in expanding the active transportation network throughout the city. Oh,
So as it's a kind of continuation of what we just spoke of. We had a PEDNet plan that was made back in the mid-2000s, working with Greenbush and Center for Community Supports. We updated that, and this is basically a document that has kind of a way for us to look at new grants in the future. A lot of times when we're submitting grants, they're asking us, where is your active transportation plan? What kind of things do you have on there? Especially just looking at a trail for Meadowlark out there. One of the first things they asked for in the application was, is this something that's recognized by your active transportation plan, which it is. So basically we were asking that the commission, basically just kind of adopt this as a resource document for future use, for future grant writing and so forth. And it will be kind of a live document, that way we can make updates to it throughout the future if needed, so.
questions for Troy? Chuck, any questions?
No.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the active transportation plan, to adopt it.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Moving on.
Good job, Gunner.
Variance request, Barber and Boldrini. Consider the recommendation of the Planning Commission Board of Zoning Appeals to approve the request for a rear yard setback variance submitted by Martin Barber and Pamela Boldrini to allow construction of 2 single-family residents at 1203 North Smelter. Kim?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. This is a little bit of a simplified picture, but just to clarify, this would be adding 2 single-family homes to this lot, but the depth of the lot would be 10 foot shorter than the 100-foot minimum, so that's where they're asking for a variance. But the Planning Commission, Dexter's reviewed it, we're all in favor, and it would bring 2 new single-family homes. No one was opposed.
Questions for Kim?
What would the dimensions change to then?
So the minimum for a R1C is 100-foot deep by 40-foot wide. So this is actually going to just be 90-foot deep instead of the 100-foot. So that's where the variance is the 10-foot difference.
Okay.
All right, Chuck, any questions?
No, I have none, and if there's no questions, I move to approve.
Second?
Moved by Chuck, seconded by Ron. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Kim. Variance request, Moore. Consider the recommendation of the Planning Commission Board of Zoning Appeals to approve the request for a variance submitted by Richard Moore to allow the construction of a secondary structure greater than 90 square feet at 1708 East 14th Street.
Again, this is just a garage or detached garage that's over 900 square feet. So his will be 1,500. He owns all the property around this Red Star, which is where he was wanting to build the garage. No one was opposed, and it looked like it was a good build, so it's approved.
Questions? I entertain a motion to approve.
I move.
I second it.
Moved by Ron, seconded by Chuck. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item D, variance request. Christie, consider the recommendation of the Planning Board of Zoning Appeals to approve the variance request submitted by David Christie to allow the construction of a commercial retail building at Pittsburgh Town Center, Block 8, Lot 1, located at 29th and Walnut.
So the request for a variance is for, if you look at the photo where the building on the far south, where the red line is the 30-foot setback. They're wanting a variance to potentially build into that setback. It does not affect the site triangle. It is within their property boundaries.
Is that going to, how's the, excuse me, what's the entrance going to be? Is it still that same entrance as at Marshall's right now, the single entrance?
Single entrance, and then if you come around on 29th Street, there will be an additional entrance right there by the Ulta building. And then there's additional parking behind all of those new developments.
Okay, I see here.
Right. Chuck, any questions?
No.
I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve?
Second it.
Moved by Ron, seconded by Chuck. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Item E, Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan. Consider the staff recommendation to revise the Pittsburgh Public Housing Authority's 2024 Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan. Hello, Megan and Kim.
Good evening. So it's this time of the year that we have to approve our admin plan, and the admin plan allows us to run our Section 8 rental assistance program. So it's the rules and regulations of the program. So there were some federal changes and some additional PHA changes. So I'm just asking for the approval or disapproval of those changes.
Did any of the changes impact your process or procedures or how we do business?
The only change, major change is come October 1, HUD has changed our inspection from Housing Quality Standards to called National Standards. Sorry, it's pretty new. National Standards for the Physical Inspection of Real Estate called NESPIRE. So come October 1, we will have to implement that. So that's really the biggest change that we saw in our admin plan.
And this is not atypical. Usually every year they have some changes.
Yes, every year they always have some type of small changes, but nothing major that affects us.
Okay. Any further questions for Megan and Kim?
I have none.
Okay.
Move to approve.
A second.
Moved by Ron, seconded by Chuck. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Thank you. Thank you. Ordinance number G 1358. Consider approval of ordinance number G 1358, creating Article 5 in Chapter 50, including sections 50, 180, 50, 181, and 50, 182 of the Pittsburgh City Code to prohibit the parking of vehicles on lawns, grass, or landscaped areas, and setting a penalty for violations thereof.
Yes, so this is in response to some issues that we've had citywide with parking of motor vehicles on lawns, an unapproved surface, if you will. And so this would actually give a codes enforcement officer the ability to automatically ticket those vehicles that are parked on a lawn.
And right now, who has the authority?
Right now, it would be a 10-day letter, and the codes process would have to, due process would take on. If it's on the street, it would be the police departments for
So,
vehicles.
how would it change? The police department still do that, or would the codes people do that?
If it's in a yard, private property, the codes enforcement officer will do it and be able to automatically ticket. We hadn't been able to automatically ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, currently the police would take care of anything parked over a sidewalk or in the parquet, but on the actual property, it was treated like everything else on.
So that would be a violation of codes, correct?
Yes.
And a summons would be sent?
Well, they would
A
just get
ticket would be
a
written and a
ticket
summons sent with the ticket?
on
Okay.
the vehicle, yes.
Okay.
Chuck, any questions?
Yeah, I had a question on the police, illegal parking on streets and across sidewalks. Will we put warning stickers on those vehicles? Or will ticket them also, like illegally parked vehicles in yards?
We currently, if you're referring to the current ordinance that allows us to ticket for being on the sidewalk or the parquet, I think that's what you said then. It's currently at the officer's discretion. That one's been in place for quite some time. I know we've given out tickets recently. On this one, I think we'd probably wait a couple of weeks and do a media release, letting people know that, I mean, it seems common sense to some people at the city, but I think everybody else would like a little warning that that's no longer prohibited and there's an ordinance and that they would be ticketed. So I think we'd probably err on the side of a couple of weeks, Commissioner, if that's okay.
I think that's a good thing. Just let folks know that we're gonna get serious about this.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, and I agree that you give them a little notice, that this is gonna be happening, like you said, when they're parked in the yards, correct?
Right, correct. All right,
I have no further questions.
okay. Would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Moved by Chuck, seconded by Ron, to approve ordinance number G 1358. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Kim.
Code Blue Warming Center, consider staff recommendation to reimburse Wesley House $6,003.49 for the operation of the Code Blue Warming Center from January 13th, 2024 through January 20th, 2024.
Commissioners, last meeting, we presented the original invoice that was asked to give a breakdown of the salary costs. So that's been, I believe that's on page 87 of your packet. Be happy to answer any questions.
Chuck, do you have any questions?
No.
Move to approve?
I second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. You're an aye? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All right, moving right along, non-agenda reports and requests, Darren?
Yeah, to follow up on the public input from Kevin, invoice staff for labor charges, who's picking up the rest? I don't know who's picking up, I'm assuming that's CHE and Wesley House's agreement, but I don't want to put it on you, but I don't know.
I mean, we're not asking the city for it, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
it matters to anyone else.
Not us. The second part was, is Code Blue planning falling to the city? If it is, we haven't been made aware of it because, to your point about the budget, we don't budget for the Code Blue shelter because we're not in that business per se. We obviously have money to help people do things in the community, and every year that seems to fall to a different entity. One year we took the lead on it, the other years other people have taken the lead and we've helped them, like in this case with some funding. We're just not in that business right now. We don't have a facility, we don't have the staff, we don't have any mental health workers, we don't have any community health center workers, we don't even have any church patrons. So we have a lot of people that go to church, but we're not in that business. That's always been provided by another entity for the most part. So we're here, we're in a lot of discussions on social services all the time, but I have not been tasked by this commission to take the lead on identifying a solution that the city would own and drive on behalf of the warming centers and the Code Blue shelter. And I defer to obviously my commissioners that are here.
I would
if
also
said that wrong.
ask that same question to your county commissioners, because they have emergency managers, so maybe a
I
county
would
solution.
ask you two guys who came up, do you have any suggestions?
Without knowing the city's budget, not really.
Well, let's assume the city is not gonna put any money into this because they don't budget for it. Where do we go from there?
I guess one of the questions that or not questions, concerns that a lot of us have is that things like this get presented. This is obviously a very small amount in the grand scheme of things and not a major issue based on the dollar amount. But the fact that it's presented without any prior agreement, without any kind of contract, and it's just like, oh, here, why don't you guys help us out with this and help us out with this? A similar kind of situation happened in Lawrence a few years ago, where over the span of a few years, the city found itself fully funding the homeless shelter up there, which is operated by a nonprofit, something similar to CHC. I think they've now created a nonprofit just for homeless services up there. But it went from being funded via grant dollars and private donations like CHC or Wesley House is, to now it's fully funded by the city budget to the tune of millions of dollars a year. Through all of that, while they're trying to solve homelessness, you'll be surprised to hear that Lawrence's homeless population has skyrocketed as they provide more services. They simply get more and more homeless coming there. And that's a great issue. I guess if you ask me what we think should happen, what a lot of citizens are concerned about, it's that none of this stuff has any kind of residency requirement. We get people coming from all over, and I know we've heard up to 30% of the homeless are not from here. There's some questions about what the definition of from here or not from here entails, whether that's a matter of has a person been here and been registered for homeless services for 6 months, or were they a housed resident that ran into problems and needs help? Those are two very different situations.
Well, I don't think that we're talking about homelessness here. I think we're talking about Code Blue this coming winter, where we put these people when the temperature drops to a -4.
Well, I guess that kind of, in my mind, that's very much a related issue.
Well, we
and that
don't have a homeless shelter at the current time, so
I understand
what
that,
you're
but
saying.
we have a de facto one, we don't have one, we have one because they've been operating as a homeless shelter since December. And now I think, are they done with that for the
They
year
were
again?
done, yes.
So they've decided it's warm enough and they've stopped. The bigger concern is, how do we deal with the homeless people we have without drawing more in?
Right, I
And-
think we understand your point. so
Right,
I
and
appreciate you
that's,
coming
if
forward.
we can get a handle on that,
Yep.
then perhaps we can actually get a handle on taking care of the people that we do have without becoming a magnet for more and more. Krista expressed that concern on the Citizens for Pittsburgh Facebook page.
Right.
Krista post I did a month or so ago.
Yeah.
That had they advertised the Code Blue shelter, more cities would have dumped their homeless on us
Well, I
as
don't know
as
that that's necessarily.
that was her statement.
Okay.
Anyway, that's obviously something that a lot of people are concerned about, and Krista acknowledged as a reality.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you,
thank you.
Roger. All right, anything else from the staff? All right, so following up in Mayor Heights Pittsburgh Positive, wanted to give a shout out to Matt O'Malley and Brad Stroud. Matt has 2 little boys and frequents Lakeside Park, and recognized that there might be an opportunity for an adult outdoor exercise station while their kids are playing on the equipment, and Lakeside Park is looking great. Those 2 gentlemen wrote 2 grants, and we have an adult outdoor exercise station. So we appreciate their initiative, and just adds to the wonderful recreation within our community. So I think we'll bring them and Susie at the end of the month for their recognition.
Okay.
All right, seeing no other business. Chuck, did you have anything?
No.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Chuck?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, Chuck, for being on.